Hey guys, welcome to Simply Bitcoin, a channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter to important updates to cringy fails. We've got it all. But before we get started, drop us a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to kick it off right away with the Clark Moody dashboard, and my co-host BitVolt is going to be joining us soon.
Clark Moody dashboard.
Block height 644,614. Price 11,850. GBTC premium today is 15.1%, slight drop. And chain rewrite days 535. And the total capacity on the Lightning Network 995.19 BTC.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. We're almost there.
Somebody just added some liquidity.
We're almost there, Phil. Almost.
That's pretty crazy, huh?
That's super crazy. It's super bullish. It's super bullish.
I like it a lot too.
So is it time for the daily fail?
It is time for the daily fail.
The daily fail.
So today, we go to a tweet from our fellow Bitcoin plebe, None Your Business, and we've got this article here. Roger Ver tells disgruntled Bitcoin Cash faction to buy Dash. Roger is our fail today. I mean, he's a fail for many other things on many other days, but today he's a fail for this for us. And to me, it's such a sign of a broken person that he's having essentially employees that don't support the ridiculous thing that he wants to do with the miners.
Dude.
So essentially, they should go and just buy Dash. And why should they buy Dash? Because here we go. This is what he said. He goes, there's already a peer-to-peer electronic cash coin with IFP. It's called Dash. I suggest IFP supporters sell their BCH for Dash and start working on that chain.
Oh my God. Like, I can't feel bad for him because he's a piece of shit.
So for the people that don't know what IFP is, right, we'll go back up to the top. Bitcoin Cash's infrastructure funding plan plans to redistribute funding from miners to BCH developers. So you see, this is what happens when you're not playing with the real thing.
What's the lesson, Phil?
Well, number one, the lesson is don't buy Bcash. That's definitely part of the lesson. And number two, don't be a fucking scammer.
Phil, is it time for the daily meme review?
It is time.
Daily meme review. Our homie Jackie .hodl.
Jackie.
The communist hating Zoomer in this epic meme. Current economic system, Bitcoin, government, Bitcoin. It's pretty epic.
This is, I mean, seriously, he totally got everything into one image. Number one, but number two, this is so well done, and so it explains so much. So I am gonna have to give him. I think Jackie might be able to get like a 9.5 on this one, a 9 at least.
9.5.
Yeah, I'll push to the 9.5 because it is all in one shot and it totally makes sense.
Okay.
There's no guesswork there.
All right, I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. I'm not going to give that young Zoomer a 9.5, but I'll give it a 9. Good job, Jackie. Great meme. Phil, is it time for the daily price discussion?
Let's do it.
Price discussion. Cool. All right, guys. Really? Not that much going on, but we'll go over it anyways. Bitcoin kind of dropped a little bit yesterday, as everyone remembers. It's not a big deal if you're hodling, though. But we kind of got a little bit of a bump. But in the grand scheme of things, guys, doesn't really matter because we are still above that $10,500 support level, and we are below that 12.5K level. So and nothing, it's not really exciting. But if we follow the crazy trend line that I drew yesterday, I call it the meth trend line, right? and actually Phil identified this. So good for you, Phil. It's still, it looks like it's a trend, to be perfectly honest. It's just a little steep. That's all. But, we'll know on the 24th, a couple days from now, whether it's going to keep following that uptrend. I wouldn't bet on it though, guys.
Yeah, no, this is very steep. I'm going to agree with you. I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of surprised we haven't broken it yet a little bit. And keep in mind, it breaking is very healthy. There's nothing wrong with that price action that it slightly breaks that line.
Absolutely.
Because the line is just something we made up.
Yeah, as long as we
based
stay
on previous price.
Yeah, as long as we stay above that 10,500 level, I completely agree. It doesn't matter if it breaks down, right?
Exactly.
So nothing really that interesting, guys, today. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you stack every day, right? Stay humble, stack sats. And Phil, it's time for the daily news. So, man, listen. The news today wasn't very exciting, but at the end of the day, it is Bitcoin news, right? Whether it's bad or good, we have to report it. Grayscale has a total of $6 billion under assets, under control, and they have about $5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So that was a pretty big deal. And the reason it's a big deal is because they own the GBTC, right? They own the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, right? And that's Boomer Bitcoin, and they also own a nice chunk of the total supply, right? So this isn't, even though you might not be a fan of Grayscale, and I'm not, right? Because of their terrible commercial that we reviewed last week. At the end of the day, we have to report this to you guys.
They still own $1 billion worth of shitcoins.
Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty crappy.
Exactly. So the next news also. Not a very Bitcoin positive piece of news, but again, it is news, so we have to report it. Morgan Creek's leads $50 million in investment in crypto lender BlockFi. Dude, I don't like BlockFi. I prefer Unchained Capital. First of all, because they only lend Bitcoin, so definitely go check out Unchained. But they also don't rehypothecate your Bitcoin, because they use a multi-sig setup, right? Yeah. So they're not messing around with your Bitcoin once you give it to them, so that they can give you some cash. But the reason that I felt like it was important to report today that news today is because you're seeing a significant amount of investment into the financial infrastructure of Bitcoin, right? Because at the end of the day, there needs to exist services like the evil BlockFi and services like Unchained Capital, because they serve a need, right? People are going to want to collateralize their Bitcoin for cash. They're going to want to, not in the case of Unchained Capital, but they're going to want those types of services. Whether us Bitcoiners or not agree with that, to me, it's a very bullish piece of news, because it signifies to me that institutional investors and the VC guys are interested in investing into the space, right? So at the end of the day, all roads lead to Bitcoin, and, it is what it is. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, it's very, it's very interesting. It's about the broader picture, right? What's actually forming here. And let's just say in 2017, when all these supposed VCs were coming and all this supposed institutional money was coming, it never really, I don't think it truly materialized. It maybe did for a slight, to begin a base layer, but now they seem much hungrier. And they definitely seem to know a little, I shouldn't say know a little bit more, but they definitely seem to be better acquainted with what they're going to get into. So I mean, look, overall, yes, it's bullish. I do hate BlockFi.
Me too.
Definitely. But, I equate them to Celsius Network. It's the same type of garbage, except Celsius has a shitcoin.
It's absolutely, I don't like the product at all, because it's not leveraging the capabilities of Bitcoin like BlockFi, like Unchained Capital, right? Yeah. Because they're actually leveraging the power of multisig to do a new type of finance responsibly and trustless, right? So, I don't like BlockFi, but I thought that it was an important piece of news to bring to you guys, because it's exactly what Phil said. In 2017, there's all this buzz, but now you're starting to see a materialization of that investment, whether it was through that announcement of MicroStrategy the other day of the $250 million purchase of the 21,000 Bitcoins, or like today's piece of news, which is a $50,000 investment in a crypto lending company. But most importantly, they mostly focus on Bitcoin. We don't like the mechanisms in which they function, but we had to report it because this is the news. Phil, on a much happier and lighter note, what's your podcast for tomorrow, man?
Oh no, I actually dropped it today.
Oh, check it out.
Yeah.
It's already dropped. What is it, bro? What's it about?
Definitely check it out. Today's podcast was actually with Corey Clipston.
Oh,
and it was the
Swan
CEO of Swan
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. So
Hell
he
yeah.
kind of drops a little hint as to one of the new a couple of the new services that are going to be coming out on Swan, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about
Awesome.
marketing in Bitcoin. Economics, you name it. Corey is very well versed and a great speaker. So it was a really cool chat.
Cool.
Should definitely check it out on the Fun with Bitcoin podcast. And I want to give a quick shout out to the Bitcoin enemies.
Ooh, okay. I like it. Awesome, Phil. I'm definitely going to check it out. Well, guys, this is the end of the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tune in tomorrow if you want simply Bitcoin and no shitcoins.